In the silent countryside of England, long before dawn broke on a cold spring morning in 1941, a race against time was unfolding, not with tanks or planes, but with minds. Hidden behind barbed wire and guarded secrecy stood the beating heart of Britain's most secret weapon, intelligence. Inside, mathematicians, linguists, chess champions, and eccentric geniuses worked around the clock. Their enemy was invisible, encoded messages transmitted across Europe by Nazi Germany. At the center of it all was a machine. The German military relied on the Enigma machine, a cipher device so complex it was believed unbreakable. Every day at midnight, its settings changed. Every message sent that day was locked behind a new, near-infinite combination. Breaking Enigma meant predicting the enemy's moves, convoys, attacks, strategies before they happened. Failing meant catastrophe. The pressure builds. By early 1941, German U-boats were devastating Allied shipping in the Atlantic. Britain was starving. Supplies from America, food, weapons, fuel, were being sunk faster than they could arrive. Each lost convoy meant fewer chances of survival. Inside Bletchley Park, one man carried a heavy burden. Turing. Turing and his team had designed early electromechanical machines, called bombs, to help crack Enigma faster. But the Germans kept improving their encryption. Time and again the code slipped out of reach. The intercept. Then one night something unusual happened. A German transmission was intercepted, routine at first glance. But hidden inside was a flaw, a small procedural mistake by a German operator. He had repeated part of the message. That shouldn't have happened, but it did, and that mistake created an opening. The 10 minutes. Inside the decoding room, tension was electric. Operators fed the intercepted message into the machines. The bombs began their relentless mechanical search, spinning through possibilities at incredible speed. Click, whir, pause, then something, a pattern, a crack in the code. For a brief window, just about 10 minutes, the team had enough partial information to reconstruct the day's Enigma settings. 10 minutes. That was all. If they acted fast enough, they could unlock every German message transmitted that day. If they hesitated, the window would close and the code would reset. The breakthrough. Turing and his colleagues moved with urgency. They tested the settings, ran confirmations, cross-checked fragments, and then, success. The Enigma cipher for that day had been broken. For the first time in weeks, the Allies could read German naval communications in real time. The immediate impact. What they saw was chilling. German U-boats were positioned directly in the path of incoming Allied convoys. Ambushes, traps, total destruction, just hours away. But now everything changed. The British Admiralty rerouted the convoys, ships altered course under radio silence, U-boats waited and found nothing. The invisible victory. No headlines announced the success. No medals were awarded publicly. The sailors never knew how close they had come to death. But in those 10 minutes, the balance shifted. The Atlantic, once dominated by German submarines, began to tilt in favor of the Allies. The long-term consequences. This wasn't just one victory. It marked the beginning of sustained intelligence dominance. With Enigma increasingly compromised, the Allies gained insight into U-boat movements, supply routes, military planning, strategic weaknesses. Historians would later estimate that breaking Enigma shortened the war in Europe by at least 2 years. Millions of lives were saved, not by bombs or bullets, but by information. The human cost, yet even victory came with moral weight. The codebreakers couldn't act on every decoded message. If they did, Germany would realize Enigma was broken. So sometimes they had to let attacks happen, let ships sink, let lives be lost to protect the secret. The legacy. After the war, the work at Bletchley Park remained classified for decades. The people behind it returned to ordinary lives. Their story remained untold, until finally, history caught up. Today we recognize that war is not only fought on battlefields, but in minds, in machines, and in moments. Final reflection. 10 minutes. That's all it took. 10 minutes of clarity in a sea of chaos. 10 minutes that turned information into power. 10 minutes that helped change the course of World War II.